Hi there. This is Shannon Myers. I am teaching Med Aspects this semester, and I wanted to make a quick welcome video. Welcome to Med Aspects. We're going to be online this semester going at your pace. I broke down the material week by week. So I'm going to go over a little bit about my background so you can all meet me as we do this online, and also the syllabus to hopefully answer any of your questions. I am a graduate of the program. I think I took this class in 2012. It was one of my favorite classes, and I love teaching it. So thanks for being here. I know it's probably required for you, but thanks for being here. And taking this class in the pandemic can be kind of a lot because we do cover literally most of the physical and mental health conditions. And then I teach you about different systems as well. So healthcare, and then we're talking a lot about trauma-informed care in this class as well. So yeah, it's a lot. So, take your time, absorb the material. And the week by week format has been working well. I've been online the last 2.5 semesters, and it is working out well for those in the program to take. So my background is I'm a CRC, a certified rehabilitation counselor, and a certified mental health integrative medicine provider. So I'm a prescriber and a provider for individuals that are looking for integrative medicine solutions. I'm also a psychedelic integration provider, and I have a private practice that I serve individuals and systems and organizations across the United States. So I will also do consultation and on systems change. And so I really love the work that I do, and I love teaching this class. I'm so sad that we don't get to meet in person. Obviously, sometimes people learn better that way, but I chose to have this class online. It's going to save us all some time and stress and parking, but hopefully ride out this last bit, hopefully, of the pandemic in a safer way. Last semester, I had a group of students in the class, and we did like a Zoom meetup just to kind of talk about their professional development, some questions they had about the class. That's open to everyone. I didn't put that on the calendar, so I know that some of you don't have that reserved. But if you want to meet in like maybe even once a month, we will do that. So just email me and let me know if you would like to do that. I try to gather a group of students so that we can actually meet each other face to face, and I can send out a Zoom invite and we can do it that way. So I'm just gonna have a screen over here. I'm gonna go through the syllabus really quick and get this emailed out to you. So the syllabus, we're gonna see a couple different books that you have purchased. And so you've got your textbook. I like this book. This is the 4th time I've read it. It's really, really good. It's great to just keep and have as like a, in your office when you're practicing. So that you can kind of dig into more of the physical health conditions, because they are connected to our mental health conditions, which you will find out as you read the material in this class. So I focus a lot on the bidirectional nature of our physical and mental health, and that's the basis of my my private practice and the work that I do, and all the consulting work that I do as well, because it means something. So this is required, and you're going to be going through, I've got it kind of broken down, and you'll just be going through the book. Every week, you'll also be getting on the Job Accommodation Network to look up accommodations that assistive technology and accommodations that you would be using for the physical or mental health conditions that is covered that week. So you'll see that every week in the discussion on Blackboard. You'll also be reading When the Body Says No. This book, I've highlighted like the whole thing. It's amazing. And so you'll be reading this, and you'll be doing a reflection on this. My grandmother's hands. We do need to know about racialized trauma and how that looks in our physical and mental health. So that is required to be doing a reflection, a report on this. And then I have The Body That Keeps the Score. I did have former classes read that one. However, I found out that Bob has you read that book in his trauma class. So I changed it around this semester. So that is just strongly recommended. You do not have to read that, but to understand trauma, where there's a spectrum of chronic stress to trauma, that book is also going to be beneficial if you have not read that, but you're not going to have to write or do anything. It's just for your knowledge. So your first assignment is a personal self-care plan, because burnout is so prevalent in the work that we do. This is going to be your first assignment. Everything is due on Blackboard, so do not email it to me. I have too many email addresses. It's going to get lost. Put it on Blackboard. I'll grade it there. So do the personal self-care plan. There's a self-care wheel that you can look at. I don't care what your plan looks like. It doesn't have to be creative. If you want it to be creative, that's great. I just want you to really reflect and actually do it and do what's on your self-care plan, especially now in the midst of a pandemic. It's super important. And you're going to be writing When the Body Says No reflection paper. That's going to be an APA format. There is a medical terminology in-class quiz. This is new to this class because the University of Iowa requires this. So I'm requiring it as well, because they like to brag that it's not required here. So you can be sure that Drake has a great program, and you're going to be doing a medical terminology in-class quiz, which is going to be done online. That quiz is on Blackboard. Please actually take the quiz and have your book closed so you memorize the quiz, so you know the terminology. I work with clients with chronic mental health and physical health and disability, and I will get stacks of their medical documentation to put together a case conceptualization to determine next steps in the line of work that I do. And it is so important that you really, really understand the medical terminology that is being used. Then you'll be doing My Grandmother's Hands, a reflection paper. So that one's in APA format as well. I do track class participation. So every week it's broken down week by week. And so you will be writing out your reflection on the discussion boards, and then responding back and forth to at least 2 of your classmates. And I do track that. I mean, we're not meeting in person, so that's the only way that I know that you're following along in this class. And it's super important that you know this material, because your clients are going to come in with physical health conditions. No matter if you are a mental health practitioner, you still need to know about the physical health conditions, because this is in the area of my expertise. This is where I see a lot of re-traumatization happening, is because their counselor is not understanding their physical health condition, and they're not doing holistic approaches. They're not trauma informed, and so we have to do a better job in our field. So participate, get to know your classmates, even though you're just typing back and forth. It's pretty important that you do that, and there's points attached to that. And then the final assignment is a professional resource for medical conditions final assignment. I used to have people go out and meet providers and clients in person, but obviously in a pandemic, that doesn't make any sense. So you're going to go online, find local and national resources for every system of the body, and put it together in a trauma-informed way. In the syllabus, there's information on how to do that. I really want to know, if you were giving this to a client, or if you were sharing it with another colleague, could they take action on this? Does this have enough information? It doesn't have to be designed in a way that just kind of looks so stylish and has a lot of graphic design. I don't really care so much about that. This isn't a graphic design class. I do care so much about what are the hours? Does someone have to have a certain type of insurance to apply here? Are there income guidelines? Is it ADA accessible? Who does this client serve? If you want to look at doing like an informational interview, talking with the provider, that's the most trauma informed. Well, actually, the most trauma informed is actually not only talking to the provider and having a relationship, but actually walking with your client to their first appointment with this provider. That is kind of the most trauma informed that you can be. So I want you to know about these resources in and out. And this is something, this professional resource for medical conditions final assignment is something that you can use in your final capstone project. And it's also something that you can use in the field as a clinician or in practicum or in internship or in any sort of field that you work in the mental or rehabilitation or school counseling fields. I wish I would have put together a document like this when I was in school. And so that's why I'm asking you to do this, because this is something I don't have time to do, but I'm doing all of the time is putting this together. And you will never have time when you're working. No one's ever going to pay you to do anything like this. So put it together for yourself, save yourself some time and grief when you're in the field, and have the document and keep it as a living document. I had someone last semester that used, they connected it to like a Google document so that they could keep it as a living document. I thought that was so smart because they can kind of add to it later. None of these assignments are made for busy work. These are to really understand how everything is so interconnected. Everything in our physical and mental health, spirituality, disability-wise, systems of society, racially, all of the ways that things can be connected, and they are. I'm very much a systems thinker, much like Bob is, in putting together areas of opportunity so that you can sit with your client. Psychoeducation is part of any sort of counseling field that you go into, and so that you can explain to your client in ways and words that they can understand what's happening, where to go next, showing that you do understand their physical health conditions, because it does play into their mental health, and mental health does play into their physical health. And so you're just going to be a more competent client by being able to put some of this stuff together. So the syllabus, I have it broken down. We're taking 1 week off. There's not a spring break, I don't think, that Drake takes, but it looked like the school systems. I went off a Des Moines public school system, but they have a spring break. So we're going to take that off. And then getting your final in on the due date, because my grades are going to be, I have to get my grades in for you to pass this class like the next day. So that needs to be on the 13th, because I have to get my grades in the next day. Otherwise I can't do that. So there's not going to be any extensions on that. So if you're thinking like it was looking like an extension, email me so you can get it in progress so you can finish it out. You don't have to retake this class. Med Aspects it's tough because it's like becoming a doctor in a semester and learning about all of the diseases that can exist. Oh, and healthcare. Oh, and chronic stress. Oh, and disability. Oh, and different systems such as racialized trauma and how that express through their physical and mental health. So it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I go pretty hard on it because I just see so many practitioners that just aren't aware of the physical health, and they end up invalidating clients a lot of the time, and clients drop therapy because they're not getting any benefit out of it. So they feel like their counselors don't understand them. So it's really important, this class, and I'm pretty adamant on that. Not just because I teach it, but because I see that. And how that looks, not just in Des Moines, but across the United States. So anywhere that you work, it's really important to know these things. So I'm going to leave this pretty short or long, depending on how boring this is. I'm just kind of going over the syllabus here, but wanted to get this out to you and for you to get started. This is online. Again, if you want to meet up, if there's some students that want to meet up, I'm happy to do like monthly Zoom, just small groups if you'd like to do that. Like I said, some students took advantage of this last semester, and that's a great way for you to learn about, a lot of students have really rich professional experiences, and they bring a lot to the class. And it doesn't matter if you do or don't, because even if you don't, you might be learning something and you have your own interest in something to add to the conversation. And I know that every student is looking to find their niche and their way to practice in the way that they want to be. I'm going to share a lot of integrative medicine approaches because we're going to be focusing on the medical model and more integrative and alternative approaches too, because that is holistic. So integrative medicine it can be complementary, added on to the traditional medical model, or it can be used in place of. It tends to be more culturally competent. It's evidence-based. It's not just woo-woo, but it's super evidence-based. I use genomics, pharmacogenomics. I use nutrigenomics. I use genetics. I use the top, latest, and greatest information, hormone panels, thyroid panels. I'm looking at everyone's root causes for their physical and mental health, and I'm known to get to the bottom of the really, really complex cases, or people just have mysterious illnesses. And so I provide a lot of care for a lot of doctors and clinicians and therapists in the area. I'm listed on the Integrative Mental, IMMH.org. I'm a listed provider there. I'm listed on Psychedelic Support Network. I have a website out there so you guys can get to know me. I'm on social media. If you want to know more about this line of work, I do kind of weave this into this because this tends to be, if you're looking at true informed consent, a lot of clients will want to know what other things that they can do besides just taking a medication. I'm not anti-medication. I am integrative medicine has medicine in the name. So please don't put me in the box of these other providers that are anti-medications. I am not that. Sometimes medication is the most appropriate response. And isn't that great about technology that we have life-saving medications? So we do need to lean into that. I do use pharmacogenomic panels, so medication, genetics, and how specific that needs to be, especially for like mental health populations or individuals that are on a lot of medications. There can be a lot of adverse effects. So I have done extensive research and work in that area. And so I think that's really important too. So the modality it really fills in the gaps in the system. And I love that I'm a CRC because I'm able to help individuals with their school and workplace accommodations. And it is really, really holistic. And people just want to be seen and heard as a whole person and with their lived experience, whatever that may be. And so that's what's so great about the counseling field. And that's what's so wonderful about you determining what you want to practice and what that means. I mean, whatever gets you so excited about, or whatever just kind of fires you up the most, kind of there's meaning there. And I know I'm kind of rambling on, but to help you find your professional identity, if you want to Zoom, do a Zoom together, that'd be great. Okay, I'm gonna leave this. Bye.